Hello, folks. How you guys doing? Hello, everybody. We're gonna be starting in just a second. Let me just get everything set up here. Give me a whole second. Hello, folks. How you guys doing? Hello, everybody. We're gonna be starting in just a second. Let me just get everything set up here. Give me a whole second. Already. How you folks doing? How you folks doing? What is this? Oh my, they brought back the presents. Let's go, baby. Let's get what we get. Okay. Cool. I'll pick you. I'll open. Okay. I'll go with the music. Let's see what kind of music am I getting. Let's equip it. Let's go with you. Okay. Cool. And let's go with you. I'll keep the two last ones, the big ones. We can equip that, why not? From Noir. Look at you. Thanks, Noir. How nice of you. Okay, so let's do regular Battle Royale, but no builds. Could we do that? Why epic? 0 builds. There we go. Yeah. Solo. That's good. Alrighty. So let me just switch it up here. We're gonna be playing Fortnite. Fortnite. Hola, Babaji. Fortnite. Only 41,000 people viewing Fortnite. That's actually low, all things considered. All things considered, my good friend. Okay. Let me just set this up here. Put this here. Leave it there. Already. Put me in, boss. Let me put the music a little lower. There we go. Just enough to give a little background music, you know. We're gonna have a little Bloody Caesar today. Cheers to the bloody. Because we're getting bloody. Let's go. Let's get a little bloody. Where are we going? Where are we going? I don't actually know this map. I haven't played enough of this. I usually play with my buddy, the Zero builds, the OG. But I'm down to try a little bit of this. Why not? Why the fuck not? It's fun, and the guns are like lasers. It's weird. Hi, puppy. You're a pretty girl. Sorry, I got my dog on me. Sorry. She's such a pretty girl. Okay. Let's see if we can get anything from here. Oh, I didn't see him. Fury assault rifle. What is this? Some bot. Okay. It's not ranked. Oh, I didn't pick rank, did I? Oh, damn it. Whatever. Okay. Let me play this game, figure out what the good guns are, and then get into ranked. God damn it. What the fuck? I think I'm having a bug. I play too many different games with different controls. So getting back on one that you haven't played in like 3 days, it's kind of off. A little off-putting. I'm like, fuck. Because I've been playing No Man's Sky, so now... Yeah, anyways, no matter. You get it. Different control system. Feels funny. Is it muted? Not particularly, but there's nothing. Good to know. Good to fucking know. I'm not gonna come here. That's a pump shotgun, okay. Good to know. But I'm the bot. Can't aim. Try to kill somebody with this stupid mask. Can't fly with it or something? I saw people fly. Or am I crazy? Or is this something else? Maybe I'm crazy. Oh. Don't mind if I do. Saw somebody. Sorry, I'm the bot. I'm a bot. I didn't mean I don't hit the scroll wheel by accident. Whatever. Hey man, wait, hold up. Hold up. I just want to see how much damage. God damn it. Ah! That's 2 shots. I'm a bot. It's okay. We're both bots. Who's shooting me? Come here. That's not very nice. You don't shoot a bot. A bot shoots you. Well, that was complete ass. I'm so sorry, sir. Mr. Weekends. I bought your album. It was great. Truly. Okay, now I can't do 2 quick shots. Can I do quick? Huh. Somewhat quick. Okay. I mean, I already know I'm gonna get destroyed in ranked because I'm sucking ass right now. Mm-hmm. Where's the madman at? Yes. Hmm. He's not waiting for me here? Oh. Okay. Where is he? Sir, where have you gone? I am looking but for friends. And nothing more. Maybe nothing less? Sir, where are you? Come out, wherever you are. I swear to God, I'm gonna die. I'm jinxing it. I'm getting way too cocky. I have no bullets. Holy shit, I only have 6. Ah! I did not realize I have no ammo. Should not be spamming my shit like this. Alright. I mean... fine, I'll take it. Although I don't like it as much. It's still a purple. Nah, I cannot deny that. Note to self, there's a bunch of SMG ammo around. Oh, hey, that's nice of you. Wait, what? Oh, my. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. He could have easily killed me there. I fucking slacked that shit so bad. Jesus, we're not gonna talk about that ever again. Did you try to snipe me over there? Or what did it take so long to shoot me? Okay. I know where next one is. That's good. Okay. Alrighty. How you guys doing? It's a little sip. Good old Bloody Caesar. Funny little taste. Let me tell ya. So I'm such a bot, bro. Jesus. Icy feet. Do I want to have icy feet from up here? I'm kind of chilling around here. How many people are left? 8 people left. Shooting behind. Oh, shooting probably on top there. No. Oh. I fucked it up after the first one. If this was ranked, I was done. What the fuck was that? Where? On top of me? Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Oh, wait, hey, that's not very nice. Oh, okay. Chill. Man, chill. Horrible with the AR? That's good to know. Thank God it shoots faster after a bit. There he is. Okay. He sees me, right? Is he invisible? He's gonna have to come down. There you go. Okay. All right. How's that? Kind of play like a pussy, but I wasn't sure of the last guy. It was okay though. Okay. All right. So let's try not to do as many mistakes on this one. Try is the keyword. How's my pass going? Shot. Oh no, Star Wars. What is this? Shogun's type fucking star. That's actually kind of cool. Kind of fuck with that. Kinda fuck with that. Master Keef, bro. Johnny Silverhand. That's cool. Cyberpunk vehicle bundle. I mean, it's a cool car, I have to admit. The kids are having like Asian type. That's cute. Skibbity. Skibbity toilet is still in here. Jesus. Du Jésus. All right. Okay, let's see if we can do any better here. Or any worse. Who knows? My hair's bothering me. Why the fuck are you like this, ya bitch? Ya bitch. I'm trying to do something here. I'm tired though. Alright, put me in, boss. Okay. I guess we can go, we'll do here. God damn it, there's a bunch of people here. Actually, no. There's like 3, 4. Come on. Fucking delay. You suck, man. What is this, ranked? Okay. Don't mind if I do. Reload your weapon faster. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Peppermint. Oh, makes me run fast. Oh, that was amazing. Oh. Bro, the fuck is this? I don't get me wrong, I missed like literally both of my shots, but he... What the fuck bullshit is that? Man. That was just my bad. I'm complete ass. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack with you. I'm a complete ass. But I'm trying. That's what matters, right? Alrighty. I feel like having a snack after. A snack. Where are we going? Let's go somewhere around here. Right there. Leo. Fini, Leo. Leo. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, nice, 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 nice. Very nice. Okay, you piece of shit. Let's go for save. He's gonna hurt that. Where is he? Okay, I'm out. GG. I gotta learn mine too. 3 games is enough, bro. 3 games is enough for me. 3 games is just fucking enough. Oh, I'm gonna kill myself. So bad. I just wanted to try the fucking sword. That's why I got so greedy. Oh well. That's what you get. That's what you fucking get, mate. Alrighty. Let's watch on YouTube, man. I'm gonna go get a snack.
It's 2020. During the lockdown, I was completely bored with nothing to do, so I started making Minecraft videos. My channel began to steadily grow as I worked on all kinds of builds in my hardcore world. But after 2 years of this, I got bored, so I pulled out an old idea that I had in the back of my brain for a few months. What if I built all of Breath of the Wild in Minecraft? I had put this idea off for so long because of one simple reason. It's impossible. Replicating every patch of ruins, every settlement, every guardian, that would be hard enough on its own. But how would I even replicate the terrain of Hyrule itself? Breath of the Wild's landscape is massive, making it near impossible to build on its own, especially for somebody who has no creative mode building experience. But I had an idea. I downloaded this software called World Painter that allows you to literally paint your own Minecraft terrain. I plan to use this to recreate the terrain of Hyrule. But even with this software, it still wouldn't be easy. Perfectly mimicking the terrain of Hyrule with nothing but a paintbrush that raises terrain just would not be easy. Hey, what's this button do? Import from height map? I guess I'll click it and upload a height map of Hyrule that I found online. Oh my god! The entire terrain of Hyrule. Done. Just like that. What I thought would be the hardest part of this project was complete in the blink of an eye. Maybe I can actually do this. Maybe I can actually... No. Are you crazy? Even with this terrain done, this was still a gigantic project. I would have to build every divine beast, every settlement, including this intricate monster. I would have to scour every forest for details and explore the deepest corners of Hyrule to perfectly replicate every... I started by filling in all of the rivers and lakes around Hyrule and fixing up parts of the terrain that were inaccurate. I had to remove snow from certain areas and add the correct blocks into some places, such as the sand on the beach. After importing the world into Minecraft and exploring it for the first time, I began to notice that the height map I used wasn't exactly perfect. But I don't have to deal with those problems yet. That's an issue for future me to figure out. Now that I had a bare-bones map of Hyrule in Minecraft, I can move on to step 2. Build literally everything else. Yeah, I was a little bit intimidated. Where do I even start? Do I just pick a spot and start building? That felt weird. To me, it made sense to start from the Great Plateau, right where Breath of the Wild first begins. But I needed some basic templates first. There are all kinds of structures across Hyrule that repeat themselves, such as Sheikah Towers, shrines, and of course, trees. I wanted to get some of these built up first, since I would need them for the Great Plateau. I finished up the Sheikah Tower after tampering with the scale a bunch, before moving on to the shrines. I do like how this first shrine design turned out, but it ended up being way too big, so I would have to redo it later. The last of the Sheikah tech that I would build up were the Guardians, which did take a lot of trial and error, but I'm extremely happy with how they turned out in the end. The landscape of Hyrule is also dotted with a variety of different trees, so I decided to build the 3 main variants that I would need for the Great Plateau. The pine trees turned out quite well in my opinion, and the oak trees were alright considering that I was trying to mimic the lollipop tree style from the game. But looking back, I'm not as happy with how these birch trees turned out. Turning my eyes to the Great Plateau itself, the first thing I wanted to build were the massive ruinous walls surrounding the region. Despite already building the towers and shrines, this felt like the first true build of the project. But because I didn't have much experience as a builder, working on the diagonal angles was difficult, forcing me to abuse World Edit's rotate command to finish the walls. Once the walls were in place, I went through each one to add cracks and holes in the structure to replicate the ruined look from Breath of the Wild. After adding in all of the trees on the plateau and implementing the snowy mountainous region, it was time to scour the Great Plateau and add every tiny detail from the game. I started with the Shrine of Resurrection since it's the location where Link's journey first begins. Since I had already found a palette for the Sheikah technology, it went pretty fast. And moving back outside across the Great Plateau, there wasn't much in the area aside from some small patches of ruins. One of the most important builds on the plateau was the Bokoblin Skull Camp. There are dozens of these things all across Hyrule, so by building one camp, I had essentially built a majority of them all across Hyrule. The Bomb Shrine went pretty fast, and so did the Old Man's Hut. The snowy region of the plateau didn't have a lot to build, but I would have to do my first minor terraforming task to fix up the peak of Mount Hylia, since it looked a bit off before. But there was still one massive build on the plateau that I had been avoiding, the Temple of Time. As I started on the ruins outside of the temple, it began to feel like the first big build of the project, a milestone that marked the end of the beginning of the project. It was super tough to get a design down for the temple that I was happy with, and I had to constantly mess with the scale to get it to look right. But after finishing the central tower, the 2 other towers came together a lot faster. I just had to finish up the pointed roofs once they were all complete. The back of the temple was a lot easier to build up, so I moved swiftly on to the interior. The temple has a wide open interior, so there wasn't a whole lot of work to do on the inside, except for the goddess statue in the back. I usually suck at building small-scale statues like this, but somehow I brought this one together pretty quickly, and I really like how it turned out. But with the Temple of Time complete, I had officially built the entire Great Plateau. That went pretty fast, right? With this kind of progress, we should be able to finish the project pretty quick. Until you realize that while I did go over this whole build pretty quickly, it actually took a month and a half to build. I still had very minimal building experience, and as a result, I had to do most of the Great Plateau by hand. Despite the slower than expected start, I was still hoping to have this project done by the end of the year. Spoiler alert, it took a little bit longer than that. At this point, I finally had enough content to make a YouTube video about this and reveal this project to the world. On March 17th, 2022, Episode 1 officially went live. After 2 weeks, the video had amassed about 3,000 views before dying off, and it almost entirely stopped getting views. With college starting in the fall, I would not be able to balance school with a job as well as YouTube. So I was hoping that I could make YouTube into my job now so that I would only have to balance 2 things, which would be more reasonable. But after 2 months of hard work, it hadn't paid off. And on top of that, an even bigger issue arose. When I began scouting out the rest of Hyrule for my next video, a terrible realization hit me when I reached Kakariko Village. It was too small. There wasn't nearly enough room to fit an entire village here. You might be thinking, well, just expand the area to give yourself more room then. But it wasn't that simple. Remember, I generated the world using an actual height map of Hyrule. So if this was too small, everything else would be too. I did a thorough check of the map, and sure enough, it was obvious. The map was too small, with the only real solution being to restart the entire map. The month and a half that I spent on the Great Plateau would be for nothing. Facing that reality, as well as my own perceived failure with the first episode, beat me down pretty hard. So, I quit YouTube. By the end of May, the video had strangely begun to pick up views again, and was already north of 10,000 views. This wasn't enough for me to return to YouTube, but I was not prepared for the incoming storm. This is what happened during the first 2 weeks of June. Out of absolutely nowhere, the video exploded. During this week, the video gained over 500,000 views. On June 7th, I was at 2,400 subscribers. 2 weeks later, I had added 30,000 to that number. You know, this might be enough to make into a job. This unexpected blow-up caught me completely off guard. To this day, I still have no idea what actually caused it. But with summer break just starting, I figured it was time to return to the project. I didn't care that I had to restart anymore because I suddenly had hundreds of thousands of people waiting for the next episode. If it wasn't for the outpouring of support that I got from you guys, I probably would have committed to quitting YouTube and would never have finished this project. But now, well, I just can't keep everyone waiting. I'm back.
Cool.
First things first, I needed to figure out how to tackle the restart of the map. I dug through my old files and found the dusty old map that I used the first time. I re-imported it into World Painter, making sure that the scale was bigger this time, fixed up the messy bits, and put it into Minecraft. Now, this scale is going to work. A lot of my builds from the first attempt would still work on the new scale, so I could just transfer everything over to the new world and reuse them. It was still a pain to put everything back in place, and there were some things that I had to redo, such as the Great Plateau walls. But after some very annoying, very grindy work, it was done. And now that you can see them side by side, it's clear that the first version was way too small. At this point, I also met fellow YouTuber Hauziki, who was coding a data pack to add all of Breath of the Wild's game features into Minecraft. His data pack is going to be implemented into my map when it is finished, so be sure to check out his channel in the description if you want to catch up on that project. Now, where do we move to next after the Great Plateau? Well, I decided to follow the path that most new players take through Breath of the Wild. I wanted to head east and build up Kakariko and Hateno Village, and after that, I'd move north to build Zora's Domain. The domain is one of the most incredible pieces of architecture on the map, and it was easily the build that people seemed most excited for. Because of that, the domain became my next massive goal to reach for, but it would be a long climb to the domain. So let's take it step by step and focus on getting to Kakariko Village. The large batch of outpost ruins sit just outside the Great Plateau, so my first task was to build these up. And little did I know that this was actually a massive step forward in the project. Most of these structures are just reused assets that appear all across the map. Take this small structure on the hill, for example. This building appears multiple times in the outpost ruins themselves, but they also appear all over Central Hyrule and even Akala. Some of the buildings here even show up as far as the slopes of Death Mountain. So by finishing this massive batch of ruins, I had effectively already finished a large portion of the ruins across Hyrule. Even this bridge that I had to build next is a reused asset, appearing outside of the Colosseum and Kakariko Village. I was now within view of the Dueling Peaks, an iconic mountain structure from Breath of the Wild. The terrain leading up to the mountain was mostly empty. There was a large tree stump, another Sheikah Tower, some enemy camps, which doesn't sound like a lot of work, but considering how inexperienced I still was, it was slow work. There were also plenty of bridges to build up in the area, which were pretty fun to work on, but I did struggle on a couple of them due to the weird angles, since I still did not have much knowledge about how to work with different angles. But one of the most tedious tasks at the time was placing in all of the trees. The method I was using to place trees was pretty simple. Copy a tree, apply it to 4 different tools with a different rotation on each tool, repeat that with every tree design, filling out the inventory with tools, and then start right-clicking with different tools to put them in place. Did you get all that? Obviously, this was super tedious and annoying since I was literally placing every tree one at a time. But there wasn't any other way for me to do it. As far as I was concerned, I would have to place every tree on the map using this method. But after finishing up the forest, I was on to the Dueling Peaks. And if you thought the trees sounded like a nightmare, well, buckle yourselves in, because the dueling peaks revealed what was probably the biggest problem with the world of Hyrule. This is what the dueling peaks look like in Breath of the Wild, and here's what they look like on my Minecraft map. So why does mine look nothing like what it should? I generated my world using a literal map of Hyrule, so theoretically my terrain should be 100% perfect. However, look at this overhanging cliff. You see how there's air beneath it? Well, how does the two-dimensional map I used know that there's air beneath the surface? Well, it doesn't. Because of this, when I generated the world, any overhanging structures in Hyrule just didn't generate. My dueling peaks look so bad because none of these overhanging rocks generated, and that means I have to build them myself. That already sounds bad enough when looking at the dueling peaks, but it gets even worse. There are overhanging cliffs all over Hyrule. Ploymus Mountain, Hebra Peak, Rito Village, Death Mountain. All of these structures and much more were completely missing because of this overhang issues, meaning I would have to terraform all of them myself. Luckily, with World Edit, I could pretty quickly create structures by placing massive spheres, but it wouldn't be pretty and I'd have to manually smooth them out, which was super time consuming. But I had another trick up my sleeve. The problem with this method is that I can pretty much only place massive spheres, which obviously don't look good. But if I place spheres of sand, they would fall to the ground and the structure would naturally smooth itself out because of block gravity. This trick would allow me to quickly terraform lots of rocks that were missing from the map, but this still didn't solve the overhang issue, because obviously the sand falls. But what if I make a massive mound such as this, change the sand to a solid block, and flipped it upside down to get an overhang? This was the method that I used to tackle the dueling peaks, which was definitely the best option I had at the time, but it still didn't turn out that good. It's nowhere close to being accurate to Breath of the Wild, but for the time being, I moved on and made a mental note to redo them later. On the other side of the dueling peaks, I encountered my first stable, which was definitely a major thing to build up. I was super excited for this, and despite the horse head giving me a bit of trouble, I got there in the end. All stables are identical, so I was able to reuse this design all over Hyrule. And after building up Fort Hateno, I followed the road north to build the first major settlement of the series, Kakariko Village. I started by outlining where every building in town would go, a process that I would do for pretty much every settlement on this map. I designed Impa's house first, which was definitely the most complicated design, but also the most interesting one. This set the block palette that I would use for the rest of the buildings. There were only a couple other house designs across the village, for which the roofs were very tricky to make, but other than that, the buildings weren't too hard. And yes, by the way, I did build every single interior in the town, and I would be doing that for every single building on this map. With the interiors done, I swept across town to add all of the smaller details to make the town feel more alive, completing the village. But just outside the town was the first Great Fairy Fountain, which I built up with relative ease. Again, all the fountain designs are identical, but I would have to change the color for future designs. With our first major settlement complete, I had taken yet another important step towards my goal of Zora's Domain. While it was tempting to keep moving north into Lanayru, I wanted to finish up the rest of Necluda first, which meant we would have to head east from Fort Hateno. I encountered a massive cliff overhang that I would have to build just past Fort Hateno, but unfortunately, due to its weird shape, I couldn't use the upside down sand trick from before. Because of this, I had to manually smooth out the entire thing, which was a massive pain, but it was only a small taste of what I would face in the future. The rest of the Necluda area was pretty empty apart from a Sheikah Tower and some small patches of ruins, but again, most of the ruins were just reused assets. For Hateno Village, I once again started by outlining all of the buildings, most of them being on a weird angle that made things a little more tricky. But there were only a few different building designs throughout the village, as most of them were copy-paste, which is going to be a recurring theme throughout this world. The colors and style of these buildings also didn't allow me to get very creative with a block palette. There were a couple of unique buildings in the center of town though, which were my favorite of the bunch. After building the windmills and adding in all of the smaller details around town, the village was complete, apart from the ancient tech lab. Looking back, the lab, or at least the telescope, is something that I'm not too happy with nowadays. But if I start redoing all of these old builds, I would never stop and this project would just continue forever. At this point, 2 entire months had passed since the first video blew up. 5 months since I first posted it. In early August, I finally had enough content to make a sequel to the first video. Most people seem to assume that I wouldn't continue with this project, let alone finish it, so I'm sure the sight of a second episode was pretty shocking. My channel got another explosion and my subscriber count doubled, confirming to me that this could actually be my job now. Which came at a perfect time because despite the smooth sailing so far, a major obstacle had just presented itself. By now, I was just a few weeks away from college, and I knew that dealing with school would give me a lot less time to work on the map. But for now, my plan was to build my way north and complete Lanayru next, ending off with Zora's Domain and my first divine beast of the project, Valruta. Before college began, I did manage to squeeze in Lanayru Promenade, an area just east of Kakariko Village that leads to Mount Lanayru. This was a super fun build to make, despite how tricky it was due to its limiting block palette. But without knowledge of proper commands that could help me, outlining everything by hand was a bit annoying. But it kinda evened out because there were a lot of reused assets in the area. Getting to Mount Lanayru, we encountered our first dragon of the project. Because yes, I did want to build the 3 elemental dragons that you can find roaming across Hyrule. The only problem is that I suck at making dragons. This is the only one that I'd ever tried to build up until this point, which obviously didn't turn out that great. But luckily for me, right around this time, I saw this guy in my Discord server who had just made an incredible Dinral build. So I DM'd him and was like, I suck at dragons, can you please help me? And he agreed. Hyrath was the first official builder to join me on this project, but there would be a lot more to come. I instructed Hyrath to build Naydra in its corrupted form atop Mount Lanayru, so he got to work pretty quickly. Despite the tight scale, he was able to make the dragon look incredible. With this outlier bit of terrain completed, I moved back west to work on the Lanayru wetlands and follow the road up to Zora's Domain. The peak of the mountain was drawing ever closer. The wetlands had small bridges reaching across the water like spiderwebs, with small patches of ruins placed around the various islands. This was the first big batch of wooden-style ruins that I built for the project, but a lot of them would be reused all across Hyrule, just like the outpost ruins. Since Hyrath had joined to build Naydra, it kind of opened the floodgates for me to invite my other friends to help me build as well. It would be impossible to go over what each builder did at every step of the project, so instead, I'm going to list off all of their major contributions whenever a builder is introduced. Ghostly would help with rock structures in Lanayru, the dueling peaks, and many more areas of the map, while Alfie would mainly focus on cleaning up blemishes and terrain mistakes all across the world. Ombrain specialized in interiors and smaller details, eventually helping out with nearly every settlement on the map. Ezio helped with a lot of different odd jobs all across Hyrule and most of the settlements that we'll get to, as well as ensuring that every single Korok puzzle would be placed around the map. These were just the first builders to be added to the project at this point, and as a team, we moved into Lanayru. The base of Lanayru Tower had some of those outpost camps blocking the road, which was our first build as a team, and the camp turned out quite well. I designed some of the large bones in the area, which would be reused many times around the map, before we moved on to the Sheikah Tower, adding all of the small details around the area. The bridge where you first meet Sidon also sat below the tower, which was the first bit of Zora architecture that I would actually build for the project, setting the block palette for their designs in stone. Moving further along, however, a new problem was presented to us. Across the parts of Hyrule that we've built so far, they all have a simple gray palette for all of the rocks and cliffs of the world. But Lanayru is the first region in which it changes to a subtle blue color. The problem I had with figuring out block palettes like this is that, well, I'm colorblind. So oftentimes I just had to trust other people that the colors we chose looked good because I literally couldn't trust my own eyeballs with this. We painted all of the cliffs with a lighter blue color, planning to add the darker blue splotches later. We were just within arm's reach of Zora's Domain by now. The rest of the road was simple for a while, with only small details here and there, as well as some copy-pasted bridges. But being in the valley of the domain presented a new problem to us. This part of Lanayru has all kinds of protruding rocks and cliffs, and you guessed it, those are overhangs. We would have to terraform all of these ourselves. This is where the pain of terraforming really set in. It was already super tedious work in Necluda, but now it was on an even larger scale. It was really hard to push through multiple hours of this terraforming work, but we slowly made progress, finishing up the valley and properly coloring in the cliffs. Since I started the project, Zora's Domain was the build that I was most excited for, and it only took 7 months to finally make it here. But I was super excited to get to work. Little did I know, I was walking into the hardest build I had ever had to work on. The big problem with the domain is its symmetry. The left side is identical to the right side. How is that a problem, I hear you asking? Theoretically, I just have to make one half and then copy it over since it's symmetrical. Well, there's one big problem. The domain isn't on a 90-degree angle. It's more like a 22-degree angle, meaning our line of symmetry isn't straight, it's diagonal, and because of this, we can't simply mirror the same design across the line. This meant that we would have to build each side of the domain separately with different shapes while still making it completely symmetrical. This became a massive problem as we started on the outer water paths. Due to the wiggly path that they took, it felt impossible to make them look symmetrical due to the tricky angle. After a ton of time, we finally got them to look decently symmetrical. We moved on to the central plaza next, building up the round staircase with relative ease. Ombrins made sure to finish up the Mifa statue and worked in the shops nearby, as I moved upwards to complete the next section of the domain. Things got really difficult again, as replicating the designs while trying to work on the strange angle was super tough and demoralizing. Although it may not look like it, we had spent days on the domain at this point, and I was super demoralized after struggling with the angle for so long. I couldn't come up with any design that I liked anymore, so I ended up taking a break for a week before I came back with a new idea. Instead of continuing to struggle on the weird angle, I would build on the regular 90-degree angle and then use world edit commands to rotate my designs to fit the correct angle. Things went a lot smoother once I started using this method, and I felt like I had revived my building skills in a way. The designs were still tough to replicate, and I had to restart once or twice to fix the scale, but it was much more bearable now. I thought the giant fish above the throne room would be super tough, but it actually came together pretty naturally and it was a ton of fun. Figuring out the colors did take some time though. After a few weeks of work, the domain was mostly complete at this point, but we were still missing the outer ring surrounding the main build. I was able to knock this ring out in a single sitting because it was entirely symmetrical, meaning I only had to build 1/8 of it before copy pasting it across. Because this design was circular, I didn't have to worry about any weird angles affecting the build. But with that, Zoro's domain was complete, making for one of the prettiest builds I've ever worked on. I had expected the domain to only take a few days to complete, finishing it around the end of September, but instead it took up literally all of October. There was still some more stuff to do in the area, and lots of terraforming as well, but that only took a few more days. And by now, I was ready to build our first divine beast of the project. I was looking forward to this. Because I was foolish and inexperienced, I didn't really think to build a skeletal outline to make sure I had the right scale, and instead just started designing from the feet up. Luckily, it turned out mostly okay, and I would only have to make minor adjustments to the scale. Most of the structure for the beast came together easily until we got to the head. For some reason, I was trying to freehand the shape of the head until I realized that I could just start with a massive sphere and morph it into what I needed. I would have to redo the head though because it turned out too small, but with the ears and eye in place, most of the body was finished. The trunk wasn't that difficult now that I knew how to use more world edit commands, and the interior only took a few hours. Because yes, we did do the interiors for the divine beasts as well. From the massive terraforming tasks to the difficulties with my color blindness, and of course, the hell that was Zora's domain, this was easily the toughest stretch of building I had ever done. But Lanayru was finished, and I was relieved thinking that this was the hardest part of the entire map, and that it would all be easier from here. You might also be wondering how I was able to work on the map so much when I was still dealing with college. But to tell you the truth, I stopped going after my first week. You might be thinking, hey, that's pretty stupid. And you know what? I agree with you. That was extremely stupid. But even without YouTube, I don't think I would have made it through college. School was never really my strong suit, and I didn't really know what I was studying in college for anyways. I didn't have anything that was interesting me. What I did know is that I had always wanted to be a YouTuber, and now I finally had that chance. I could always go back to college, but the chances of another shot at YouTube were very slim. So I decided to focus on this while I can, and if it doesn't work out, I'll just go back. Which means that from now on, I'm officially all in on YouTube. I financially depend on this stupid project. There's no more turning back. I had finally ascended the mountain and reached my goal that I set at the start of the project. And looking ahead, there didn't seem to be anything on the map that would be harder than Zora's domain. I thought that I had certainly finished the hardest part of the map, but little did I know, Zora's Domain was far from the hardest challenge I would face on this project. And as I moved ahead into the next few regions of the map, the cruel reality of the project set in. With Lanayru finished, this is how much of the map we have completed so far. A good chunk, but still far from the end. And without much progress happening through December, we moved into 2023, marking an entire year since I first started building the map. My original goal to finish this by the end of the year had obviously not been met, but I was pretty confident I could finish it this year instead. Following the completion of Lanayru, I had two options. I could either continue moving north and loop around the top side of Hyrule, or I could head south and do Faerun, wrapping around the map in the opposite direction. I let my audience vote for what region they wanted to see next, and Faerun barely won the vote. I didn't realize it at the time, but this changed the course of the project for the better, and saved me weeks, potentially months, of extra work. Following the request of you guys, I headed out from the Great Plateau into Faerun, starting with the Bridge of Hylia. For some reason, I always enjoyed building bridges on the map, but this is the first one that I really did not like. I had a tough time outlining it, but the entrance gates to the bridge did turn out alright. My inexperience also made it difficult to properly space out the support columns for the bridge, which did add some extra time to the build. But after I finally figured it out and added some final details in place, the bridge was complete. As I worked on the area surrounding the lake tower, now is a good time to introduce the new builders I brought on once we started Faerun. Sly would help with various different ruins around the map, as well as parts of Hyrule Castle. Mono helped a lot with the Zonai ruins, Lurelin Village, and some ruins in Gerudo as well. Toby would help a ton throughout Faerun, Tabantha, and would also go on to help with parts of Hyrule Castle. Goat helped so much in pretty much every corner of the map that it would be faster to list the parts that she didn't contribute to. So it's probably safe to assume that she was there for almost every major build on the map. But anyways, as you've seen, we've completed most of the area around Lake Tower, so I moved into these woods where the Zonai ruins began. A lot of these ruins, such as the first tower, would appear all across the jungle of Faerun, so I once again would have a bunch of assets to copy paste around and save myself time later. But apart from a couple things, most of the ruins in this area were pretty simple. But moving into the jungle, things got a little more complex. Way back when I started this project, I only built the main 3 tree types, so I needed to figure out a design for these trees. The jungle trees ended up being my favorite from across the entire project. Something about them just looks so good to me. I can't believe I did this good of a job on them. But before I added all the trees in place, I wanted to finish the Zonai ruins first so that the trees wouldn't be in the way of the building. The first enemy camp is one that shows up in a few different spots on the map, but most of the ruins below were unique. I had to build up the Zonai dragon heads and some various other designs and enemy camps as I followed the river north. We also had to do quite a bit of ruinification to all the builds in this area. At the end of the river was the Spring of Courage, guarded by a massive dragon statue. This dragon statue was a ton of fun, and the first time that I ever had to actually make a statue of this scale before. And to my surprise, I was able to finish up the claws on either side of the nest as well. After finishing up the spring itself, I backtracked to add the thick jungle canopy, turning this into one of my
They just turned it into a big PR stunt. What the fuck is the Grinch doing here? Good work, Grinch. Christmas is saved, and he's having fun. He's having a great time. Imagine it's actually Mike Myers.
Poof! 2024 is officially over. Congrats to everyone that made it and everyone that didn't. All I can say is get better at the game. I feel like in the future, this is gonna be that year we can say that beat 2016. Y'all gonna call me crazy now, but y'all are gonna look back at this video in the next couple of years and be like I was right. I thought I would do a timeline on everything that happened this year that we actually cared about. Because a lot of these timelines and recaps every year are trash or boring to me. We covering the juicy politics, pop culture, memes, social media, entertainment like always. And there was a lot of politics this year, just a heads up. So without further ado, let's go over the 2024 timeline. January 2024. We start off this year with Mickey Mouse becoming public domain. This means that it loses all ability to get copyrighted by Disney and can be used in pretty much anything. Want to use it in a horror movie? You can now. Want to use it to sell a shirt? You can now. Want to use it in a corn film? You can now. The only catch is it's the oldest version of Mickey Mouse and not the newest one everybody's accustomed to. But that didn't stop a bunch of movie directors from making terrible horror movies of it as soon as the character became public domain. It's a ritual at this point for this to happen. Saudi Arabia officially joins BRICS, a group of countries whose goal is to create a currency together to promote economic growth for their nations, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and now Saudi Arabia. Cat Williams shocks the internet by airing out all of Hollywood and exposing them, saying things like the most famous comedians in Hollywood try to gatekeep from other people becoming big. I still like Kevin Hart though, he's pretty funny. Saying he always declined Diddy's invitations to his parties because he knew what was happening. This video has 84 million views. That should show you how viral it went. Normal interviews are not getting these type of views. The only other person who could do something like this with an interview is Michael Jackson. To avoid getting demonetized because YouTube hates when I say this guy's name and will immediately do it if I say it, we're just gonna refer to him as Harry Lepstein. The Harry Lepstein files became declassified and the public starts scouring to figure out who's on it. To figure out which celebrity is finally gonna get exposed for being a freak. The victim says that Harry Lepstein said Bill Clinton likes them young, nothing we didn't all already know. The victim says Stephen Hawking was involved in an underage orgy. Out of all people I thought was gonna come out on this list, this was the last person. Like, how was his freak even doing anything? I didn't even know his thingy still worked. All of his legacy pretty much burned up after this news. The victim says Michael Jackson was there but did nothing. Stop the lies on my goat, man. Never forget how the media did MJ. And after this first wave of names, people were hyped up waiting for more names to drop. Then we waited and waited and waited, and the names never dropped, and everyone forgot about the whole thing. How many of y'all even remember this happening? Be honest. Man, them elites put in up work to keep it silent. MatPat officially retires from YouTube. The Stanley Cup went viral and started being sold out in stores all over the US. They dropped one specific cup, which was a Starbucks collab with a pink design, and all hell broke loose. They immediately started stampeding the stores to get them. People were selling these cups on eBay for 6 times their actual price. I still don't know why people were fighting over cups like this. Pretty weird time of this year. South Korea officially passed this law banning dog meat trading in 2027. Come on, bro, it couldn't have been done sooner. Footage leaks of Playboy Cardi getting arrested for going 133 miles per hour. Probably the closest any of his fans will ever get to getting an interview in years, or an album, or song. Japan makes its first ever moon landing with its spacecraft. Megan Thee Stallion officially releases her diss track Hiss, dissing a lot of rappers, which was like the warm-up of what was to come later on this year. And Nicki Minaj dissed back a couple of days later, and honestly, if you don't know anything about this beef, don't bother listening to Nicki Minaj's song against her. The winner was determined 5 minutes after it came out. Elon Musk announces that Neuralink has successfully implanted its first brain chip in a human, which allows you to do things like control your phone or computer by just thinking. I think my hands work just fine for those tasks, but if y'all want to be test subjects, go right ahead. Congress held a hearing against the biggest tech CEOs, which at this point is a yearly ritual. I think this time they passed a record of asking the TikTok CEO, is he Chinese 1,000 times?
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
It included the Instagram CEO, Discord CEO, TikTok CEO, Twitter CEO, and Snapchat CEO, questioning them on security concerns and whatnot. UMG pulls off its music catalog on TikTok after failing to reach a licensing agreement. And for y'all that don't know, UMG owns every artist that you listen to. I'm not even joking. This is the tippity-toppity of monopolies. Between both the companies, TikTok definitely took more of the L on it because it's built on songs. And for that time being, music was just a bit more quiet on TikTok. The memes of this month were things like Low Taper Fade Ninja, Stanley Cup, Side Eye Cat, and Blacker Chinese. February 2024. This month started off weird. Pictures went viral on Twitter of AI Taylor Swift nudes. People was passing these pics all around freely like a blunt rotation. Eventually, they banned all the accounts with the pictures, and right after this happened, US lawmakers proposed a bill. The act would be a civil right of action for victims of these type of AI images and allow victims to collect financial damages for it. On one hand, this is a great and amazing law, but you're telling me it took the government years to do this and they only cared about this problem when it happened to a billionaire celebrity, when this has been going on for years for different women around the world? Great job, guys. My taxes are definitely going to use. Vince McMahon is investigated for sex trafficking allegations. He already stepped down as the CEO of WWE in 2022 because of internal investigations, but now the government is on his case. And when the government enters your case, most of the time it's GG's. Aiden Ross got scammed by 21 Savage live on stream in front of tens of thousands of people. I don't know how 21 Savage thought he could get away with this on a live stream. Oh, Drake's meat also leaked this month. Feel like this is a very important note of history, so I'm adding it to the timeline. Someone had to say this, okay? How was it still semi-soft in that bit? Alright, you know what? I'm getting into too much detail. Joe Rogan signs a Spotify deal worth $250 million, becoming the most expensive podcast deal in history. If the deal should have been worth that much is really up to your interpretation.
Monkey hole, and the tail and the little feet are poking out. It's like, see if you can find that.
King Charles is diagnosed with an undisclosed form of cancer. Judging off the way the internet reacted when his mama got packed, if he did too, they would not hold back again. Charles, don't make next year your last year. The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, giving them 2 wins in a row. It set a record as the most watched TV broadcast in U.S. history with 123.7 million viewers across every platform. Sony buys Michael Jackson's catalog, acquiring a 50% stake in it for at least $600 million. Probably the worst news, considering MJ was fighting them over taking advantage of him. And when he dies years later, that's when they want to make the purchase. The YouTuber Too Mad passes away. Considering he wasn't really a good guy, a lot of the internet just clowned him. Donald Trump gets fined $354 million for fraudulent business practices in a court ruling, and his 2 sons get fined $4 million as well. Diddy faces a lawsuit accusing him of sexual harassment and assault by Lil Rod Jones. This is one of the first lawsuits that kicked off that whole thing this year of Diddy getting tracked and hunted down, but I always thought he was a good guy. I mean, look how nice he is on Ellen DeGeneres show.
I had the dates wrong all this time. Diddy, come on out.
The memes of this month were things like Sad Hamster, the Apple Vision Pro, and Taylor Swift's jet. March 2024. Ryan Garcia started crashing out this month and spiraling on the internet. On his Instagram story, he posted a cryptic, devilish message with it saying, "We told you we were coming." Then he went on a rant saying elites made him watch kids get raped in a forest and he has proof of it, and started tweeting out saying if they kill him, he didn't do it himself. To this day, people still don't know why he was wilding like this. Some people think it was to hype up his fight with Devin Haney, and even he said himself that was why. But is it not kind of up to say you have proof of things like that in the name of promoting a fight? And it came out later that Ryan was using performance enhancing drugs anyways, and the fight got overturned. So all those shenanigans to get people hyped up to watch, just for him to get scared and take some drugs to win the same day. Probably the weirdest thing to happen this year in the sports world. LeBron James becomes the first NBA player to score 40,000 points. And no matter how much the old heads and unks complain about it, he is indeed the best NBA player of all time. Thank you, King. Sadly, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, passed away. This one hit everyone deep, man. It felt like we all had to be silent for the next couple of days. Rumor has it the cartel stopped fighting for a day in honor of his legacy. Definitely one of the most tragic things to happen this year. Rest in peace to the GOAT. The Dubai Mall becomes the most visited place on earth with a record 105 million visitors. Robert Downey Jr. wins his first Oscar for his support role in Oppenheimer, which is how you know these award shows are a scam. How did this not win for carrying Marvel for like a decade? I guess better late than never. Andrew Tate gets arrested again. Andrew Tate in the big 2024, or should I say 2025 now? Like, can I just know if they're innocent or not? I swear, I still don't know. The U.S. House passes a bill to ban TikTok. And the vote was pretty much a landslide. 352 agreed and 65 disagreed. Republicans and Democrats never get together on anything, so that's how you know they serious this time. For y'all watching in the future, did it get banned? Or was it another time of them saying it and absolutely doing nothing? Mike Pence, Trump's former vice president, refuses to endorse him. Vladimir Putin officially gets re-elected as the president of Russia, winning 78.8% of the vote, which will make him the longest serving leader of Russia, overtaking Joseph Stalin. If you ask me personally, I think this was one of the most fair elections to ever take place. It's not like he arrested his main competitor and jailed him, then when he died, it was deemed under suspicious circumstances. He won it fair and square. Fair and square. Seriously, is there anything Russians can even do? The Quiet on Set documentary releases, revealing how messed up Nickelodeon Studios was run and the freak nature of Dan Schneider and his friends. The main things revealed was that Dan Schneider wrote R-rated jokes and shows on purpose. That must be a real shocker to everyone. That the work environment was toxic and Dan underpaid female writers. The biggest reveal was that Drake Bell was SA'd by a dialogue coach who worked there named Brian Peck. And when it came time for Brian Peck's trial, a bunch of celebrities and people in the industry wrote letters to give him support. You're better off throwing your kids in a den of lions than throwing them in Hollywood and them surviving. As a child actor, most of the time your parents use you and don't really care. And the whole industry is just full of degenerates who never get checked. Like that from Future's album releases, igniting the start of the rap civil war. Kendrick Lamar disses Drake and J. Cole, saying it's just Big Me, throwing the first jab at them and seeing what they respond with. P. Diddy's home gets raided by federal agents. Sam Bankman-Fried gets sentenced to 25 years in prison for his orchestration of multiple fraudulent schemes. Godzilla x King Kong releases. The X supposed to be a versus because I don't know, I didn't watch the movie. Becoming the top installment of the series with 571 million made worldwide. And memes of this month were things like Green FN, the Willy Wonka Experience, and the Chick-fil-A Sauce Girl. April 2024. Taylor Swift is officially added to Forbes billionaire list. South Korea's Democratic Party wins its National Assembly. O.J. Simpson officially debuts in a cemetery. And as you all know, he went down as a legendary football hero. A man who was proved innocent time and time again and can never hurt a fly. I speak for everyone when I say, rest in peace, O.J. Simpson.
After we finished filming, O.J. said to me that he had a surprise for me, and I genuinely was surprised. I think it was his idea of a joke, and this is it.
The legendary Detroit sign hits the world and jaws drop after seeing that there are some things out there that can look more depressing than Detroit. This thing costed $425,000 to make, by the way. Drake drops his diss track Push-Ups to retaliate against Kendrick Lamar, calling him a midget, saying his fans make excuses for him not dropping. Funnily enough, he told him later on that he's dropping too much. Funny to spin back and look at that. He called out The Weeknd, Future, Metro Boomin, Rick Ross. And we sat there and waited for 3 weeks for the war to finally begin. Donald Trump's hush money lawsuit trial officially begins. Taylor Swift drops her album, The Torture Poets Department, selling 2.6 million units in the first week, which is actually unbelievable. The second closest artist to get to her sales this year was Kendrick's album GNX that had 319,000 sales in the first week. Like Taylor or not, she is running the music industry and there is absolutely nobody even coming close to her. She also became the first artist to have 14 of the top positions on the Billboard Hot 100. Tesla recalls thousands of Cybertrucks due to an issue with the gas pedal. And there's been multiple recalls for the car this year due to other issues. Good riddance. I honestly hate every time I see one of these cyberpunk looking cars on the road. The US House of Representatives passes this bill to ban TikTok, but this time they actually gave a date, January 19th, 2025. So when the time comes, let me know what happens, yo. My prediction is that getting packed. The government been wanted it out since 2020. Ryan Garcia beats Devin Haney in a boxing match. Kendrick Lamar drops his diss track responding to Drake, Euphoria, saying he's inauthentic and just pumps out music for money, saying he wishes he was one of the hoes like Sexy Red. Definitely true. And the internet got to debating immediately. And when I say debate, there was no debate really. Everybody knew Euphoria won. This is like Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby, alright? It's not a fight. And the memes of this month were things like with the Sigma, LeBron glazing, and the TikTok Riz party. May 2024. Ryan Garcia tests positive for using enhancing drugs in his fight with Devin Haney. So the fight results got overturned and he got banned from boxing for a year. Kendrick Lamar drops another diss track, 616 in LA. Main points being that he's telling Drake his inside circle wants to see his downfall and Kendrick's got got an insider saying that Drake using memes isn't working and people can pick up on it. Wasn't too much really, but the very same day, just so we can keep track, this is all the day of May 3rd, Drake drops Family Matters. His main points being that Kendrick's kids aren't his and are actually his best friend's day free, saying Kendrick beats his wife, and saying he begged Tupac's estate to take down Drake's diss track. But then Kendrick drops grams right after. And can I just say, everyone, we were really all born in the greatest generation. Witnessing how this night went down was poetic. I'm so glad I was involved in this time of moment. Going from Drake's jolly diss track that had some hard moments in it to the most dark sounding, deepest, and evil tracks. Kendrick's main points was telling Adonis he feels bad Drake is his dad, telling Drake's mom she failed for having a son that doesn't respect women. I respect women, guys, just so you know. Telling Drake's dad he's an enabler and is why Drake is how he is. Saying Drake only uses black women to hypersexualize and nothing else. And of course, the daughter reveal. Now this is the one thing from Kendrick's whole performance this beef that was kinda iffy. To this day, Drake's daughter hasn't been revealed other than rumors, and it definitely would have got leaked by now. But who knows in the future, it might get revealed. Then the next day, oh my god, bro, this is the amazing week. Kendrick drops Not Like Us, having the whole world yell Drake's a for the entire summer. And it ends off, of course, with The Heart Part 6. He would have been better off not dropping this at all and having Not Like Us be the last track. The fact that he took the route of, well, guess what, Kendrick? Guess what? I'm famous, so I couldn't be a... I'd be caught by now. Yeah, that killed any shots of him dropping another diss. And that's the whole rap civil war of 2024 music-wise. I'm leaving out certain parts because if I included everything, this whole video would be an hour extra long. Xi Jinping visits Europe for the first time in 5 years. Maybe we'll get world peace soon, probably not. ByteDance sues to block the US from banning the app, saying it violates free speech rights. Silly TikTok. Little do they know the government cares about free speech, except when it's for something they don't like. The government doesn't even allow China to sell cars here. You think they would let you win a lawsuit on their land? Putin gets inaugurated into office. Not Like Us becomes the #1 Billboard Hot 100 song and broke so many records I don't even feel like saying them, but y'all already know it was played everywhere. A video leaks of P. Diddy beating his former wife on camera. We also gotta mention, it's crazy how long this video took to come out. It just shows the grip of power Diddy had on people. This video happened in 2016, and he later apologized in a video 2 days later. Don't know why he still thought he could salvage his public image. He had to have known it's over, right? Red Lobster files for bankruptcy. The Doge Dog sadly passed away. Rest in peace to the Doge Dog. Trump gets convicted on 34 felony counts in his lawsuit on falsified business records, becoming the first former or sitting US president to have been convicted on criminal charges. And the memes of this month were things like Man or Bear in the Woods, Drake versus Kendrick, and the New York portal. June 2024. Mexico makes history by electing its first female president. And India elects its prime minister with one of the biggest elections ever of 642 million votes being casted. Props to them for getting 642 million votes done in a day. And the US, for some reason, each state either moves at bullet train speed or is still counting votes a month later. I swear, California just does everything terrible. Joe Biden introduces new restrictions on the border after pressure from the public. Howard University revokes Diddy's honorary degree. How could they? These degrees, from what I see, are just pieces of paper college gives to celebrities for being famous. They really serve no purpose, and I'd be damned if I went to debt only for a celebrity to get it for free because they're famous. Hunter Biden's found guilty on all accounts in his felony gun charges case. Jerry West, aka the man who's the symbol of the NBA, sadly passes away. Rest in peace, Jerry West. The House passes a bill to automatically register any men aged 18 to 26 for a draft. They can pass all the bills they want, but when the time comes for a draft, I'll be cooling in a jail cell with my homies. The Celtics beat the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals. Nvidia becomes the most valuable company in the world, beating Microsoft at $3.34 trillion. I can't even comprehend that type of money or what a company even does with all that type of money. Justin Timberlake gets arrested for driving while intoxicated. This man is worth $250 million, and instead of ordering an Uber or even getting a private driver, he decides to get behind the wheel drunk. He just like me, for real. That's my favorite singer now. Vladimir Putin visits North Korea for his first time in 24 years. And you just gotta admire their friendship. I mean, look at them. I wish I had a friendship like that. That friendship is with you guys. With you guys. Travis Scott gets arrested for disorderly conduct. Dr. Disrespect gets exposed as a certified PDF file. For being a gamer, the amount of controversies this man has had is odd. Is it that hard to sit down and game without cheating on your wife or being a creep? Ever forget when he posted this image before him coming back thinking it was the hardest thing of all time? He eventually ended up where all washed up nobodies do. Rumble. The presidential debate takes place, and oh man, it did not disappoint. It did disappoint. It's crazy how fast Biden aged, because even in 2020 he could still throw up jabs. This was so brutal to watch live. He would have been better off just skipping the debate. The Lakers draft Bronny James, and the memes of this month were things like the Hawk Tua girl, AI vines, Freak Bob, and Let's Go Gambling. July 2024. The Supreme Court rules presidents have broad immunity from prosecution, meaning that presidents can commit certain crimes and not be prosecuted for it. This is a total shame because United States presidents have totally never committed crimes in the past, and everyone knows they have the cleanest slate in the world. LeBron James signs a 2-year, $104 million contract to play for the Lakers. Keir Starmer becomes the UK Prime Minister. John Cena announces his retirement from the WWE in 2025. The amount of that broke all types of bones trying to do John Cena wrestling moves in their rooms will never be forgotten. John, your legacy will never be forgotten. The Twitch streamer Sketch had a slight pass mistake leaked by somebody. Some people were mad at him for some reason at the time, and it became this huge story on social media of people talking about it. He came on stream eventually to talk about it and responded in a pretty good way, but the fact that people bullied him to damn near making himself end his life, what are you doing, bro? I know you get no hoes or money. Eminem releases his album The Death of Slim Shady, selling 281,000 copies first week and killing off his iconic character Slim Shady in the album. Whether you like M or not, Eminem had some bangers with Slim Shady back in the day. All AT&T customers' data gets exposed in a data breach. Donald Trump gives a nice speech to his supporters and nothing totally happens to him. Nah, I'm just kidding. He got shot. We gotta talk about how wild the 2024 election was. Like, was it really this serious? No other seasons of elections will ever go down like this, ever. And social media got set ablaze from this. There were people who gave messages that political violence shouldn't be allowed and wished a speedy recovery from it. People like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris saying it, and some people did not give a Trump also announced his Vice President J.D. Vance in the next upcoming days. Joe Biden tests positive for COVID-19. COVID fell the off. How do you catch it 4 years later after its peak? Biden has survived so much at this point, I don't think anything can take him out. Let me just knock on this wood for 2025. He's getting up there in age, so yeah. I don't want to be blamed if something happens. JoJo Siwa breaks the record for the most disliked music video by a female artist in 2024 by a pretty good amount too. It's a skill to do this many numbers. Joe Biden drops out the presidential race after stuttering in every interview for the past 4 years, trying to learn how to walk up steps, and lying to the public, telling people he's in perfect fine shape for an old man. He made the decision on July 21st, 2024, immediately endorsing his Vice President Kamala Harris right after. If Joe knew she was gonna do things like get Megan Thee Stallion to twerk for votes and Cardi B to speak, he would have locked in and changed his mind. Chris Tyson steps away from Mr. Beast's team after allegations of grooming and overall being a weirdo. I'm just saying allegations because at the time it was, but now it's confirmed true, you already know. And Mr. Beast's image just hasn't fully recovered from this. Right after these allegations, it felt like it just kept getting worse and worse and there was no stopping it. Just more allegations on Mr. Beast and everybody on his team. Mr. Beast's public likability stocks have never been the same. Only 100 million views, Mr. Beast, it's time to put the fries in the bag. Inside Out 2 becomes the highest grossing animated film in history, making $1.46 billion globally. The 2024 Summer Olympics begins. I usually don't care about the Olympics, but this year's had so many memes. The Turkish shooter guy was probably the biggest one, and the whole shooting competition just looked cold, to be honest. Robert Downey Jr. is officially announced to be returning to Marvel. He was announced to be playing Dr. Doom in the next 2 Avengers movies. I feel like this just kills the moment when he died in Endgame. I'm optimistic though, so hopefully it's good. Xbox 360 shuts down its marketplace. The United States national debt reaches a record $35 trillion. I still want to know who we owe money to. It seems like we sent money to every other country. And the memes of this month were things like Rat Summer, Donald Trump shot, and Starlight the Boys. August 2024. Aiden Ross streams with Donald Trump, being the first ever president to hop on a stream. Kinda wild how far streaming has come this year and it's only been growing. This is a good time to tell you guys I also stream on Twitch, so go follow, please. Kamala Harris announces her vice president pick Tim Walz. Susan Wojcicki, the former CEO of YouTube, sadly passed away. She was one of the main pioneers in growing this platform as a whole. Rest in peace, Susan Wojcicki. The 2024 Summer Olympics officially wraps up, with athletes breaking 32 world records and reaching 5 billion people around the world. The social security number of every American gets stolen in a hack. My question is, how is it even possible to do that? And did y'all know this even happened? Like, your probably gone. Is our stuff that badly protected where you can take all of it in one sitting? Hey, all I know is I haven't been hit yet, so don't get any ideas, guys. Ronaldo breaks the world record for the fastest growing YouTube channel, gaining 1 million subs in less than 90 minutes, 10 million subs by the end of the day, 30 million subs by 2 days, and 50 million subs in under a week. I don't know how many people don't have Ronaldo as the most famous person on the planet right now, but if you don't, then this should certify that you gotta change it. The editing style on his videos are still pretty, like, very commercialized, but this could be the man that passes the almighty Mr. Beast hold on YouTube. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., probably the biggest independent US candidate in recent times, drops out the presidential race to endorse Donald Trump. Justin and Haley Bieber have their first kid. Shout out Justin for holding down my childhood with bangers. Feels like I'm truly getting old. The Brazilian Supreme Court shuts down Twitter in the country. Apparently this was due to disinformation being spread about the country. They lost the argument when they said false information on the app. Like, buddy, why do you think people have Twitter? To get fed lies and see people argue about things no one ever made an argument for in the first place. And the memes of this month were things like Turkish pistol shooter, Rainbow Dolphin, and Very Demir. September 2024. Sabrina Carpenter debuts #1 with her album Short and Sweet. Pretty big album for the year, but her tours be freaky as hell for some reason. Like, who's telling her to do all that for her songs? Rich homie Quan sadly passed away from an accidental drug overdose. Man had a legendary run back in the day. Rest in peace. Selena Gomez officially becomes a billionaire, mainly making money from her company Rare Beauty. It seems like it's a cheat code to become a billionaire now if you were an already famous celebrity and start any company. Guess I'll have to eventually do that, right guys? You guys would buy it, right? Nick Avocado goes from the fattest man on earth to the skinniest overnight. I would have predicted World War III would happen this year before predicting this. Everyone was shocked because you woke up one day and Nick wasn't fat anymore. It seemed like it was written in prophecy for him to be obese for life. If you're fat now, you got no excuse. Get your ass on that treadmill in 2025. Kendrick Lamar gets announced as a Super Bowl halftime show artist. Sadly, James Earl Jones passes away, known for playing famous characters like Darth Vader and Mufasa. Rest in peace. The Minecraft movie trailer drops. It was definitely a movie trailer. Not the best reception from people, but we'll see how good it is when it comes out. The debate between Trump versus Kamala Harris takes place. This year was so exhausting because why do we have 2 presidential debates? One is already too much for my brain, but one comment stood out from the whole debate.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
Really, Nick?
Just save Bolt and Brian Griffin and we good. After that, they can chop away all they want. Tito Jackson, a member of the Jackson 5, sadly passes away. It comes out that Diddy was using baby oil for his freak-offs. Lotion or lube don't cut it anymore, so you gotta bring out the maximum efficiency products. And that's what he chose. Telegram now has to share IP addresses and phone numbers to authorities if law enforcement requested. This is a huge change if you don't know, because Telegram was built on keeping everything totally encrypted, which is why every drug dealer in the book was using it. So it might be over for them. They'll have to go back to the boring dark web. I wish I did it. I would have loved to thank you for shopping to your message from a drug dealer after getting something. Sucks I can't anymore. That's a joke, YouTube. I've never bought a single illicit substance in my life. Kmart closes its last major store in the US. If you're still shopping at Kmart, then I think you came out the wrong century, bro. The 80s is way back there. Hurricane Helene hits Florida. And memes of this month were things like Nick Avocado's weight loss, the Minecraft movie trailer, Henry Danger side-eye, Diddy arrested, and my new character. October 2024. United States port workers go on a strike over compensations and disagreements about the use of automation. It's kind of scaring me that we're entering an era where people have to go on strikes to fight against robots already. Like, I thought this was gonna happen in the future, 2099 or something. But our generation got to deal with this too. The Joker 2 releases, proving to people that Lady Gaga should stick to singing. The difference between the first movie and second for reviews doesn't even seem real. Lizzo reveals her weight loss to the public. She's been sharing TikToks of her working out, and it's definitely been working. It's like we losing all the fat celebrities to Ozempic or them actually caring about their bodies. Eminem becomes a grandfather. Hurricane Milton hits Florida, and the hurricane was pretty powerful, leaving places messed up. But the way they describe this online and on the news, you would think Moses would have been able to part the sea. Like, did we really need to be doing all this in preparation for this storm?
It is completely floors out. The first floors of homes and businesses, and the only way to escape that is to move to the higher floor of a building. Now, unfortunately, there are going to be places that get more than 6 feet of storm surge flooding. Imagine this, 9 feet, 8 or beyond of flooding of inundation. This is practically not survivable.
Young Philly gets arrested over rape allegations. He's a
Hello,
part of
hello.
Pretty big groups like Beta Squad and affiliated with the Sidemen.
She's working tonight. She's working tonight, sadly. What? I had another video on the Mac. I wanted to watch this. Yes. How are you? How you been?
And every article. It will take you a while, but don't worry. As you can see, I've already done this too. Then step 3. When you have all this data, add up every single point a game has earned from any video or list it appeared on, and then arrange every single game in order from least points to most, thus giving you a 100...
Yes, me? Yes, I'm bored. But I just finished downloading a new game, so I want to try that one. So we'll try that in a second.
List of every MMORPG scientifically ranked according to their arbitrary point value derived from the subjective combined rankings within almost every rank.
No, I'm bored. Oh, I'm also bored.
These are easier to find and simply look cooler than gameplay. But I want to show the gameplay of each game if... Extreme disrespect, but the future is now, old man. Despite being monumentally important...
Is he actually? I'm curious to see the top 10.
Like blacksmiths or lumber yards. The entire point of Albion Online is to be
Albion, okay.
Resources are safe from PvP, but the
EVE Online, fair enough. Old school is a number 8 only. Oh shit.
Have no excuse to have low agility. Just tap while watching Netflix, like the rest of us do. 7. Star Wars: The Old Republic. Not the first attempt at a Star.
Lost Ark, okay.
The fanboys get mad if you call it a Korean Diablo, so Lost Ark is a Korean Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. Top-down hack-and-slash RPG with gathering and crafting and absolutely no bots. Don't go to the fishing spots, just trust me, bro. Still, one of the most played games on Steam. 5. Black Desert Online. Blowing people away with its character creator alone. Black Desert Online is a sandbox action MMO releasing in 2016. Players can train life skills, build houses, kill millions upon millions of enemy mobs.
Elder Scrolls.
To risk a small...
What's this? Guild Wars? Guild Wars 2, I think.
Favorite MMOs, breaking the curse of a sequel never being as good as the...
Oop. Game, you okay? I mean, YouTube, you okay?
Launching back in 2012, Guild Wars 2 focuses on horizontal progression instead of vertical. Meaning once you've got the best equipment, which can happen quite quickly, it's all about collecting different varieties and looks of that equipment and focusing on your fashion, which as we all know is the true endgame. All the usual MMO things of combat, dungeons and quests, but with added jumping puzzles, rewards for exploration and legendary items which take months to craft. Trial the size of the entire base game and then it's finally here. The top 2 MMOs, objectively sort of, ordered out of 250 games by a science-backed sort of system. Over 100 MMO ranking videos, all combined, multiple articles, weeks of work, and it's all come down to this, and you knew it would. Regular viewers will know my love for one of these 2 games more than the other. So I want to make it clear I did not plan this. And all the data and all the points and all the scoring can be double-checked. In second place, we have a perfect tie. When I added up all of the points from this system, both World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV scored 493 points each. In the immortal words of Brass Eye, this is the one thing I didn't want to happen. World of Warcraft, the absolute behemoth, releasing back in 2004 and being so successful it warped the genre to it. And Final Fantasy XIV, releasing in such a broken state it literally blew up its own world, started again as a Realm Reborn, and was still successful enough to reach the top spot again. This battle is the modern day Ultima versus EverQuest. It is pushing the genre forward faster than ever, and we're probably in for a few more years of intense rivalry. World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV are both incredible games, and they are absolutely perfectly balanced within this system. But that still means they are joint second. So the top spot of objectively the best MMO ever goes to whatever game you like playing. And it seems cheesy, but the data actually proves it. People feel they need to choose a popular MMO instead of one they personally enjoy. Content creators like me are entertainers. These videos are for entertainment purposes. We are not the arbiters of quality or the gatekeepers telling you which game you should or shouldn't play and which game you should feel bad for enjoying. Use videos like these to gather data and expand your gaming knowledge, but don't use them as an all-knowing answer to what you should do with your time. MMORPGs are long-term games, and no one wants to willingly invest in something they know will die.
You know what?
But
He makes a fair point.
who really liked Diablo thought they could make a better Diablo and just kind of didn't stop until they actually did. And then they kept going, and now we're all very worried about them because they cannot seem to stop making it. Released in 2013, Path of Exile has gone through time-limited events called Leagues, each league lasting a few months. I've always talked about quit moments in games. Leagues are designed as return moments. A top-down hack-and-slash RPG with about as many items as it has systems, it's still very much online. The sequel, Path of Exile 2, is in early access now. I'm enjoying it. They even sent me this cool puzzle box, which I'm sure is totally safe to open. 30. Perfect World, one of the most successful Chinese MMOs ever. Released back in 2005, Perfect World has seen 20 expansions and is still going strong today. However, there is another MMO being made called Perfect New World, and the name of the company making these games is Perfect World Games, so you'll be forgiven for getting them all a bit confused together. 29. Lineage 2, released back in the ancient time. Killed, and after getting a taste for blood, I've gone on to kill many more. Terra, the exiled realm of Arborea, was a super fast action combat MMO with over-the-top Eastern archetypes, such as the massive muscular warrior using a literal lance as a weapon, the slim and svelte lady with a gun larger than her, or just a child. Over the years, it became a mess of aesthetics. The monster and environment designs were awesomely over the top, but the cosmetics were garish and immersion-breaking, including a tiny police car you could drive around in or a collaboration with Attack on Titan, bringing the omnidirectional mobility gear. Terra, released in 2011, saw success, got renamed to Terra Rising in 2013 when it went free-to-play, then the PC server shut down in 2022. It's still alive on console, and I'm sure that final remains and still promising the world. 16. World of Warcraft Classic. You think you do, but you don't. But it turns out you actually did. World of Warcraft is quite a popular game, but with every expansion people say it drifts further and further from what made it great in the first place. So after Blizzard spent years telling people they don't want the game as they remembered it, they released the game as they remembered it, and players loved it and played it a lot. World of Warcraft Classic has slowly added back in the classic expansions, the Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King. Then they realized they were making the same mistakes as before, so following the same formula as EverQuest's time-locked progression servers, we're now getting WoW Classic, an endless cycle of relaunching the same game again and again and again and again and again. 15. Blade and Soul, another classic Chinese wushu-themed action MMO. Blade and Soul released in 2012 and lets players explore a vast and rather beautiful...
With convention-breaking hype, a small but passionate team trying to build a full-scale RPG, with delay after delay, and over 1 million copies sold, only to result in an unsatisfying flop shortly after release. This is what went wrong with Biomutant, an indie open-world kung fu style RPG set in a post-apocalyptic world ruled by rodents that is on the brink of collapse. I'm Wicked Wiz, being a man of my word and standing on your fan art. It's actually not bad. And I'd like to say a massive thanks to my patrons who make videos like these sponsorless. The concept of Biomutant originally came from a crazy dream that the head of studio, Stefan Ljungqvist, had one night. From my 20-hour experience playing the game, it really is a full-on Kung Fu style RPG set in a world that's been devastated by the previous inhabitants' lack of care for the environment. Now, this isn't your typical post-nuclear war scenario. In fact, this world is littered by oil leaks, radiated, flaming hot and freezing cold zones. All of the ruins scattered around the world act as mere remnants of what was, and are now home to mutated monstrosities. But the world is in a process of healing, and this big tree, the Tree of Life, is the key to that process. But something's wrong. It's in danger, and there are these massive creatures called World Eaters who are destroying it at the very roots. The population are now evolved rodents. There are 6 tribes for you to either join or conquer in the game that each have their own view on how the world should be run. Choice is a big thing in this game from the very start. From character customization to weapon crafting to vehicles, and a karma system where you have a choice between good and evil. You'll meet a bunch of unique characters along the way, as well as bountiful loot. There are a whole bunch of cool things in this game, but a lot of it becomes quite repetitive, and many people felt that the world was kind of bland. Before we dig deep into what's wrong about the game, we first need to know what happened in development. And thankfully, before even starting the video, one of the developers behind Biomutant offered to give some insight into what was actually quite a secretive process. There's no interview or anything like that, and for what I hope are obvious reasons, they'll remain anonymous. So for now, we'll just call him Steve. Smash like for Steve. Our development journey starts with the company called Experiment 101. Founded in the summer of 2015 by both Goodbye Kansas Game Invest, now Amplifier Game Invest, and the previously mentioned ex-Avalanche Studio employee Stefan Ljungqvist, who is by no means a rookie within the industry, as he previously worked on the much underrated game Mad Max, as well as Just Cause. So they have a lot of experience and connections within the industry, and after working in some pretty big companies, Stefan wanted to try something a bit different when it came to development. Developer Steve mentioned that the team started off really small and pretty much got stuck into development straight away. There wasn't much pre-production, but there was still an idea from Stefan and the team of what the game could be. At this point in time, there were only really 5 people working on this game already, prototyping away, coming up with new ideas, testing things out, seeing what sticks. But there is one thing that will become very apparent in this whole cycle, is that this team would remain pretty damn small throughout the whole project. Similar to any indie studio with a lot of ambition, the work environment was full-paced. Long hours were quite common, but overtime was always paid, none of which enforced, as some would do their 9 to 5 and go home, while others would burn the midnight oil. It was a very busy studio from what I heard, and it kind of makes sense with only 5 people at the time, but the culture seemed quite open and accepting of differing opinions to choices being made. This was no dictatorship, everybody had a voice, and everybody worked together. On paper, it was a flat organization, meaning that there wasn't much middle management between the devs and Stefan. There was autonomy amongst the devs, but no leads for specific areas in development, and no real workload division either. Others could have their input, and decision making would typically come down to an agreement amongst the whole team, rather than just one person owning that and having the final say. A year later, in the summer of 2016, the team would then grow to around 12 people in total, all of which working tirelessly on prototypes and new on-the-fly features. The way they worked was pretty much like this. Stefan or someone else would come up with a cool sounding idea or new feature to add to the game. They would then develop it, test it on the couch at the end of the week, and then decide if it needed fixing or to scrap it entirely. A lot of the development process behind this company isn't anything new. A lot of it's very much trial by fire, but this way of working does become a bit of an issue later on, and probably explains why a lot of things didn't go too right. Interestingly enough, this game was originally said to be more of a top-down Diablo style experience, but over time they found themselves zooming the camera into the world more and more, that they eventually had to have a vote between the developers to decide if this game should be a third-person or top-down experience. And of course, as we already know, third person got the vote. I just really wish I could have seen at least some examples of this, or show you guys some examples, because I think a lot of us would have much preferred a Kung Fu Panda Diablo sim than this shit. While development was going on with the game, Experiment 101 also managed to land a publishing deal with THQ Nordic, as I'm told that the founders had some pretty good connections with them, and this relationship would develop into something else entirely later on. All of this progress sounds great, but not much was really seen of the game.
Okay, let me try.
Time. And to be honest,
Let me try the
things were
launch of the new game I just downloaded real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, they did it. Path of Exile 2 has a dodge roll, which means, by my definition, it's kinda Souls-like. And the devs over at Grinding Gear Games seem to agree because they reached out to sponsor me for this video, so I could let you all know that the game just launched into early access. Though
Did he ever ask you to wear an outfit like that?
No.
Did he ever use phrases with you that you're the ultimate slut in bed?
No.
And did he talk to you about blowing enormous loads every time?
No.
Did he ever ejaculate on your face?
No. No.
Must have had a different relationship that he did with Miss Arias, correct?
Object, lack of foundation. We were talking about the Cancun issue, ma'am. You never told the detective about the Cancun issue, did you?
What Cancun issue?
Do you remember that we're talking about Travis Alexander? Let's start with that.
Yes, I remember that.
That's why we're here, because you killed him, right? Slam you, didn't he?
Not necessarily.
Oh, so
He
you're
had-
saying that he was in the shower?
I don't remember.
Were you crying when you were stabbing him? Man, this is a very small closet, isn't it?
No, it's bigger than the cell that I live in.
It's bigger than what? What do you?
Objection to that being shown that is completely irrelevant, and it's quite frankly.
Okay, council approach. Council approach.
Do you think in your mind, because you were the one that was experiencing, do you think you were a little unfair to him?
Yes.
And ma'am, with regard to everything that he did to you, and how you feel, and how you know of the circumstances and the situation that you were in, with regard to Exhibit 205, do you think in your mind, because you were the one that was experiencing, do you think that, do you?
Objection to that being shown that is completely irrelevant, and it's quite frankly.
Okay, council approach. Council approach.
Sir, ma'am, with regard to, you were being asked about how you were aggrieved about the fact that he may have been cheating with the defendant. Do you remember about that?
Yes.
And you were asked about, how many times he had been cheating, correct?
I'm not.
You were asked about that,
Okay.
right? And that was part of the breakup, right?
Yes.
Do you think that it is...
Menu reader. Off. Press spacebar to toggle.
What is this?
A few cobwebs and some... I am indeed a student, but I could very well be able to help you. That was quite something. A few cobwebs and some dust. I'm eager to get to Hogsmeade. That was quite... It was... I am indeed a student, but I... A few cobwebs... I'm eager to get... That was quite something. I am indeed a student, but I could very well be able to help you.
A witch or a wizard? Let's go with a witch. I'm a whale witch.
It appears we are almost ready to depart. It's a pity we didn't have a bit more time to spend on spellcasting. I presume you've been practicing the spells we worked on.
I have, Professor.
Well, I'm quite sure I've never seen anyone take so quickly to a second-hand wand. You'll be a force to be reckoned with when you get your own.
Thank you, Professor Fig. I appreciate you working with me before the term.
Eleazar! George, glad my rather cryptic description of our location did not thwart your finding us.
I've apparated to more vaguely defined destinations than this. Though I confess I may have miscalculated slightly on my first try. Gave quite the fright to some theatergoers in the West End.
It's been much too long. When I received your owl, I must say I...
Best not speak here, Eleazar.
Of course. Why don't we speak en route to Hogwarts? We have a start-of-term feast and a sorting ceremony to get to.
Wonderful idea. As long as your young charge here doesn't mind me tagging along.
Not at all, sir.
After you.
Ages since I'd been to the castle. Would be good to see the old pile of rocks.
Are you all right? You're hurt.
Perhaps a bit.
Take this. It's Wiggenweld potion. That stuff will right you in a second.
What happened?
Poor George. I can't believe he... What the hell got into that damn thing? Attacking a carriage mid-air? A typical dragon would never...
Professor? Sir, where are we?
I'm not sure. But that key you discovered was clearly a port key.
Port key?
An item enchanted to bring whoever touches it to a specific place.
I'm feeling better, sir, if you'd like to look around a bit.
I would. But stay close. We've no idea who created this port key. Or why.
Oh, that's right.
How far did that port key take us?
Farther from London than the carriage travelled. We're somewhere in the Scottish Highlands.
Sir, those ruins. Do you think...
The port key was meant to lead us there? I do. This has not been the day either of us expected. But Miriam sent that port key to George for a reason. And I believe that she, and now George, died in pursuit of whatever it was meant to lead to. If you're sure you're all right, and wouldn't mind indulging me, I'd like to have a look around.
Absolutely, sir.
Good. Let's see if we can find a path, however faded it may be. Mind your step.
Where do you suppose your wife got the portkey that brought us here?
A good question. Miriam spent years searching for evidence of a long-forgotten form of ancient magic.
Ancient magic?
Yes. A powerful magic wielded by a rare few that seems to have been lost to time. Hogwarts Castle was built by, and is itself a stronghold of that ancient magic. I don't know where she came into possession of the portkey, but I am certain it was to do with that search. Ah, there's the path down below. This way.
But sir, why was your wife searching for evidence of lost magic?
Miriam wanted to understand why such powerful magic disappeared from the wizarding world. Spoke of the good it could do. But magic is no different than any power. What really matters is the one who wields it.
Is that ice?
It's not cold enough here. It appears to be a sort of enchantment. Someone wanted to block this path. Let's see some of that wand work you were practicing. Focus on the center. Excellent! That was a bit rougher than I expected. Your wand work's improving with every cast.
Thank you, sir.
Ah! Up there! We're close now. It's just ahead. Steady yourself! Reparo! Almost there.
Why would someone put this here?
I suspect they valued their privacy. That portkey led us here for a reason. Let's have a look around for anything that seems out of place.
That enchanted crystallized stone again. But what could it be blocking? What's this? Professor Fig!
How odd. Why would someone have conjured that enchanted stone here?
And how is there a room behind it?
What room? I don't see anything.
There's that glow again. Like the glow on the portkey container.
What in Merlin's name? Godric's heart.
Where are we?
I don't believe it.
Hello?
It can't be. Just a moment. Ooh. Anything here? Welcome to Gringotts Wizarding Bank. Vault number 12, I presume. Precisely. The key?
Hmm? Your wife's portkey.
Oh, yes, of course. This way, then. Stay close. After you. Keep your hands inside the cart if you don't wish to lose them.
How many vaults are there in Gringotts?
Hundreds. In fact, you'll see quite a few on our way to vault number 12. As we speak, we're just beneath the main lobby. The vaults you see now are the newest.
Are private entrances to the bank common at Gringotts?
They are most uncommon. Only one with great wealth or power, or both, could have arranged for such a service. You'll want to take a breath.
A what? That waterfall washes away all enchantments. It's a security measure.
Experienced the thief's downfall before, have you?
Heard of it?
These are the lower vaults that we're passing now.
How deep are we going?
Vault number 12 was commissioned shortly after Gringotts was founded over 4 centuries ago. It resides in the deepest part of the bank. Settle in. We've quite a distance to go.
Vault number?
Vault 12. Momentous day.
On your way.
Professor, the armband that guard was wearing was glowing.
Like the glow you saw on the portkey container?
No, darker. I saw that same glow on the dragon's collar.
Yeah, what was that?
We were just wondering about that goblin back there.
He watches over the oldest section of the bank. Rare anyone goes there anymore. Here we are.
When was the last time this vault was accessed?
A goblin has been stationed at my desk for hundreds of years. In that time, no one has visited Vault 12 until today. you for your help.
What do you suppose we should be looking for?
I'm not sure. Sir, I wonder
The
if you might...
instructions for Vault 12 indicate that I am to grant access to the holder of the key and then close the door.
Wait!
Best of luck.
Professor?
That was certainly unexpected. Let me think. There must be something here. Revelio, perhaps?
Revelio?
Yes, a revealing charm. No time like the present. Let's see what we're missing, shall we? Ready your wand and focus.
Revelio. There! I saw something.
Move a bit closer and try again.
A door.
Well, that's a start. There's that symbol again. I don't suppose you see a way to...
I do, Professor. That symbol has the same glow as the one I saw on the port key container.
If what you can see reveals the way forward, then I dare say we are about to discover the secret of this vault. Lead the way. Lumos! This is no ordinary vault. I suspect we will need to earn our way out of here.
What do you mean, earn our way out? Do you think this is some sort of test?
I do. But to what end, I can't say. Stay close. There will be no disapparating if things go poorly. Not out of Gringotts.
Revelio. I see something up ahead.
What is it?
That glow again, but on the floor.
Lumos! What happened?
When I moved towards the glow, it suddenly seemed as if the ground was swirling about.
Are you all right?
Yes, sir, I'm fine.
You seem to have caused the floor to change.
That statue?
What statue?
I see some sort of statue, but only as a reflection in the floor. Revelio.
I presume this is what you saw reflected in the floor.
It is. The reflection's still there, but the statue's positions don't match. Wait. When you moved, the reflection turned in the direction of the light.
Perhaps you should cast Lumos.
Lumos.
Well done.
Now the reflection's turning towards me. It does follow the light.
Look out!
Protego!
Accio! Defendo! Levioso! Deposo! Deposo! Expulso! Stupido! Expulso!
Protego!
Expulso! Depose! Stupido! Expulso! Contrino! Lumos! Stay close!
Revelio. Lumos. Professor! Professor Fig! Professor, where are you? This isn't good. Where am I supposed to go? What's happening? Wisps of magic seem to be leading me somewhere. I suppose I'm on my own this time. It seems I have no choice. I'm going to have to fight my way out of here. Lumos. Lumos.
There you are. How did you... What is this place?
I don't know. But I found this floating above that basin.
That is no mere basin. That is a pensive for viewing memories. I wonder... Follow my lead.
All is in place.
The portkey is well hidden.
Perhaps too well. I wonder if the path we've created...
may be impossible to follow. It will only be impossible for one who cannot see traces of ancient magic as I can.
Your ability to see what others cannot will not be enough, Percival. We are entrusting the one who embarks on this path with powerful secrets, with knowledge others will do anything to obtain.
Yes, and if we are correct, Charles, the witch or wizard who completes the trials will have proven themselves worthy of that knowledge, and the responsibility that accompanies it.
We've done all that we can.
That's what you're seeing. The glow that surrounded them.
Yes, sir.
Astonishing.
Can I see magic?
Traces of an ancient magic, to be precise. The magic that Miriam had always believed existed, but could never. Miriam, and perhaps George, died in pursuit of knowledge that has been dormant for centuries. And you, it seems, are the key to understanding why. We were...
It all looks rather different than it did a moment ago.
Someone's coming.
Who were they? I don't know. But, sir, you shouldn't be in here.
I was right.
Ramrock.
Seems my reputation precedes me. I was beginning to think no one was ever going to visit Rackham's vault.
And why are you here?
No need for that. Just give me whatever it is you found here and we can let bygones be bygones.
Sir, they have the key to the vault.
Choose your next words wisely.
I only meant that the instructions to Vault 12 were quite clear. Sir, I must insist. I was to grant access only to one with the key, and you didn't have them.
I have no patience for traitors. Now, where were we?
I'm not giving you anything.
Well, perhaps your young friend here will be more helpful.
Are you all right?
Fine, sir.
I've never seen so powerful a goblin. He seemed wholly unaffected by my magic.
Where are we?
It can't be. It seems those who set up the Pensieve, the Locket, and the Path to Both wanted someone with your ability to end up here. Come. We have a sorting ceremony to get to. Good. We haven't missed the sorting ceremony. I'm no expert, but that seems more appropriate. Now, I need to study this locket as soon as I can, but first I must contact the Ministry. They need to know what happened to George and be warned of Ranrock. For the moment, I ask that you keep all that's happened this evening between you and me.
Of course, sir.
Thank you. Ready for the sorting ceremony? Phineas, Nigellus, Black. Prepare yourself to meet the headmaster.
Fig, nice of you to join us. The sorting ceremony's over.
There were complications.
Complications?
It seems the goblin problem has...
Enough. Goblins. I've no time for rumors, Fig, and I'm rapidly losing whatever patience I had left. If you're lucky, we might still be able to get you sorted this evening.
I'll be in touch.
Professor Weasley, we've one more to be sorted.
Welcome. You're just in time. Have a seat.
Ah, yes. A bit older than the others, aren't you? You come here with preferences and preconceptions. Certain expectations.
I'm looking forward to exploring Hogwarts and the world beyond the castle and grounds.
Indeed. Much can be gleaned by having an adventurous spirit, but your professors have a great deal to teach you as well. I wonder... I detect something in you. A certain sense of... what is it?
A desire to learn? I do enjoy a good puzzle, and I believe I have a ready mind.
You're clever indeed. You have the ability to reflect clearly on that which puzzles others. And you've a ready mind, quick to learn.
Oh, this is a good game.
Perhaps you belong
It
in
is.
Ravenclaw.
Although I'm falling asleep. I didn't have any coffee yet. Do I wanna go in Ravenclaw? Sure. I don't really know anything about this. Alright, put me in, boss.
You belong in Ravenclaw.
Alright, let's go.
Oh, and one more thing. Due to the unfortunate injury on the pitch in last spring's final, this year's Quidditch season has been cancelled. Enough! It's not as though I've banned flying altogether, but don't tempt me. You are here to focus on your academic futures. I'm sure you all have plenty to do before classes begin tomorrow. I said, I'm sure you all have plenty to do before classes begin tomorrow.
Mr. He doesn't want to be there
Quite
anymore.
an entrance. It's lovely to meet you. I'm...
Professor Weasley, would you be so kind as to show our new student to their common room?
I shall see to it, sir. As I was saying, I'm Professor Weasley. Pleased to meet you.
Hello,
Nice to
hello.
meet you as well, Professor.
As Deputy Headmistress, it is my distinct honor to show you to your common room.
Thanks.
Right this way.
So nice of you. So nice.
It's quite uncommon for a student to begin as a fifth year. Might be a bit of a challenge, but one I'm sure you're up for.
I am, Professor.
This is the entrance to the Ravenclaw common room. You must solve a riddle to enter. I won't be of much help, I'm afraid. This sort of thing has always confounded me.
Who lived longer? The ghost or the poltergeist?
A ghost or a poltergeist? A non-being can never have been.
Really?
Well done. Now, go on in and get some sleep. You have a big day ahead of you tomorrow. I shall be back in the morning to collect you for your first class.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy your first night at Hogwarts. Sleep well.
Thanks. That is loud.
Looks like everyone's gone. Better head to the common room.
Common room. Oh yes.
Lumos. Revelio.
No secrets around here. Alright. Oh. Sorry. One of the best games I've played lately. Really? You enjoyed this? I haven't, Oh. Wrong place? Wait, where the Oh, I guess I need to go up. All the way up.
This should be
Yeah.
interesting.
What's up?
One moment. Watch this.
Ugh! What is this? Someone threw a dung bomb. Let's get out of here.
That wasn't quite the reaction I wanted.
Hey, yeah, this guy looks
Oh,
like
well.
me.
Right. What did you hope would happen?
We're like
I
twins.
suppose I hoped it would lighten the mood. Ravenclaws can be a bit on edge the first day of class. I'm Everett, by the way. You seem downright calm next to some of these characters, and you survived a rather harrowing trip here.
Ah.
Harrowing indeed. I'm still a bit on edge myself and a little nervous for classes to start.
Oh, you needn't be worried. Truly, there's no reason to be nervous. Most professors are firm but fair. I mean, not all of the tricks I play are as simple as a tossed dung bomb, and I'm still here.
Wait, did you say most professors are fun but fair?
Ha! I did. But probably best I let you judge for yourself. I do tend to push their limits. I should wander off before someone traces that dung bomb back to me. Nice meeting you.
You too, Everett.
In the first mission, oh yeah. Didn't play as Karen.
Must be. All right.
It's for sure different for a bit
Deep
of a...
breath. Why, hello. Would you like to take a look? Can't see too much in the day.
Well, except for stars like Sirius, Canopus, Vega, and Arcturus. I'm Amit. Pleasure to have you in Ravenclaw. Never met someone who's been so close to a dragon before.
Can't say I'd recommend it, frankly. It's nice to meet you, Amit. I take it you like astronomy.
Oh, yes. So much to be learned from the stars. Also, there's something about the open air and night sky above the tower. It's invigorating. You will adore astronomy. Professor Shaw is incredibly knowledgeable.
I hope astronomy's on my schedule. Sounds interesting.
On my what?
I have good
Schedule?
news for you. You are most definitely taking astronomy. It is required for all 5th years. You will be enthralled with the tower. Plus, a quality telescope can show you things you never dreamed of.
I suppose I'll see you in class then.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of class, better get to my first one of the year. Nothing like the smell of fresh parchment, is there? Be seeing you.
God damn, these guys are nerds. Nothing like the first fail of first part. Shut the fuck up.
This is the right spot. I want him to be in the perfect place. A place he'll be happy with. But I can't seem to find it. Great golden god.
Okay, no, I'm skipping. I'm skipping this one. Skip. I'm not dealing with this. Hi, my plant is not placed well enough. Can you help me place this plant?
Professor Fig does know a great deal about...
Get the fuck out of here, man. Yo, I'm out. I don't want to talk to her.
It was nice to meet you, Samantha. Good luck with your ditany.
Thank you.
No,
and
not
good
good
luck
luck.
to you too on your first day.
Fuck you.
Hey there, new Ravenclaw. Professor Weasley is looking for you just outside. You'd best not keep her waiting.
Lumos.
I adore the Hamlets dish. They're a bit damp.
You're not gonna do anything if I attack you?
I enjoy my weekends to dogweed and death trap. I find
Lumos. Lumos.
my family has been
Lumos.
generations. It's even bookish long.
I can't imagine starting new school this late.
But okay, I need to go there to go down. Okay.
Good morning. I trust you're ready for your first day at Hogwarts?
Not
I've
really.
been dreaming of this day for a long time. Can't believe I'm here.
Well, you are here. Make the most of it. You only have one first day at Hogwarts. Now, in light of your unique situation, joining us as a 5th year, you'll need to catch up with your classmates and not fall behind. Especially as you'll be expected to complete your OWLs at the end of the year.
OWLs? Owls?
Yes, your ordinary wizarding level exams. They will determine what type of career you can have when you leave here. After much discussion with the headmaster.
Alright.
Here you are.
Thank you.
Alright. I think I'm gonna call it a night here because I'm falling asleep.
This way.
This way. Alright, boys. I don't actually want to fall asleep here, so I'm gonna call it a night here. Thank you, Betchy, for coming. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be doing a little stream tomorrow morning.